For Kyle Shanahan, he signed a 6-year contract, making him in the top 5, highest paid coaches in the NFL. I think that it was coming anyways. There's no reason to wait until the contract expires and then have to rework it. Go ahead and get it done and get it out of the way. How do you feel about him becoming one of the top 5 most highest paid coaches in the NFL right now?
I mean, I can understand why he wanted the money, and I respect that he got it. Good for Kyle. I'm not knocking him. I would have done the same thing in his situation. I would have went to Jed and say, I deserve more. I deserve to be top 5. And I understand why Jed gave it to him, because Jed has hired some really bad coaches, and if he runs off Kyle after running off Jim, who knows what could happen to the franchise. That being said, I don't think other owners necessarily would have done it, because as impressive as Kyle Shanahan has been, he's 23 and 25. And there's mitigating circumstances and I'm not saying he's not good, but usually in the past, you had to have some more accomplishments on your resume than that to get a big time extension. I'm not saying fire him. I'm just saying to vault up again, to get your second deal and to be above guys like Doug Peterson, people who've won the Super Bowl. I would expect you to at least have a record like McVay, who's never had a losing season. I still think Shanahan's better than him. I'm just surprised that he could parlay a 23 and 25 record into being set for life. His children are set for life. His children's children are set for life.
Okay. I want to ask you just one question. Mm-hmm. How many head coaches would come to a team that is totally demolished, right? And within 3 years, win an NFC championship and then go to the Super Bowl in the first 3 years? How many?
Not many. And I'm not knocking him. All I'm saying is making him wait another year for an extension wouldn't be a punishment, and it wouldn't be a knock. It'd be like, we gave you a 6-year deal. You're 23 and 25, and you've done great things, but let's just wait one more year. One more. But I think from Jed York's perspective, that's a dangerous thing to do. I mean, he did that basically with Harbaugh, and the relationship never recovered. If he does that with Kyle, Kyle could say, like, you know what, man, you don't appreciate what I've done. You think you're the star here. I'm just going to bide my time and go back to Atlanta or somewhere else, because a lot of people would like me. And I think Jed's really afraid of that happening.
Yeah. I mean,
wasn't it
John Lynch? I mean, didn't Harbaugh have a problem with more of a problem with Trent Baalke than the ownership?
Well, what happened was after the Super Bowl in 2012, that was Harbaugh's second year. He was 24-7-1 and lost in a Super Bowl. And he went to Jed and said, come on, man, I'm making $5 million a year. Right. I'm just as good as Pete Carroll and John Harbaugh, my brother, like, pay me. And Jed was like, dude, you haven't accomplished enough yet. You didn't win the Super Bowl. We don't hang NFC championship banners. So Jed has changed a lot since then. And he's changed because he realizes what a disgruntled head coach can do in the organization. He thought he had leverage and power over Harbaugh. And Harbaugh really showed, well, he has leverage and power too, and he can tear everything down. And I don't think Jed wants to risk it with Kyle like that. Right.
And I've never seen in one off season where you have like 4 guys out of nowhere just retired. I mean, it was back to back to back to back. It was the Cowboy Justice Smith, he retired. Then Patrick Willis. Then Anthony.
Why do you think they retired?
Because Harbaugh was leaving.
Exactly. They weren't going to go through the grueling year of football to win 5 games for Jim Tomsula. No.